I think definitely the worst part about changing and growing as a person and trying to live a life that you want for yourself is the loss of the connections that you have. Now, obviously, this is something that a lot of people have said before, right? It's something that is, feel like it's semi common knowledge, right? A very obvious thing, but it never fully hits you until you're really there. I won't say that I personally have completely changed my life 100%. I think I'm still very much in the process of changing things. But what I will say is that even in this process that I'm in, I still feel hurt and a bit disappointed in the reactions of my friends, people who I really consider to be close, who I thought like would be the ones there for me in this journey, and they would be the ones to help, you know, that they would be my biggest supporters, that they would understand and they would really try and like come through. But the reality is, more often than not, when you diverge from your friend group, you diverge from the activities that you guys used to do together. And for us, that was smoking a lot and fucking around, drinking, going out, having fun. Though we didn't really take life seriously, because honestly, we did not take life seriously, right? Once I diverge from that, once you diverge from that, once you start to elevate yourself and move past that, it's not always gonna be them trying to stop you, but more often than not, it's the way in which the energy and the vibe just shifts for you personally, because you start to see, okay, if I want to get to where I am, these cannot be the most influential people in my life. And for them, because a lot of times when you start to go, you know, you advance, you try to have a healthier life, it can build up resentment. It can tear apart friendships, and I I'm very grateful that it's not been like in a very violent way. Like I'm still in touch with my friends. I just don't hang out as much as we used to in the past. But I have seen situations where it gets ugly. I've heard the stories of it getting ugly, and that realization, that transformation, that well, the realization, that transformation of your social circle, of the people that influence you, it has to it has to happen. In any step or any journey that you're gonna take, right? Especially if you're gonna try to elevate yourself, you have to understand that perhaps the negative influences in your life, which firstly must be come from the internal, right? Because I'm a person who really believes that what happens inside is what matters the most. Like the internal, for me, dictates what happens outside of you. But I'm not so much a, I'm not a person who believes so much in that that I cannot see how the external affects the internal. If you're trying to study and you are in a environment that is not conducive to study, there's noise, there's dirt, it smells, you're tired, you haven't eaten, internally you may really want to study, but you've stacked the deck against you. Like the deck is stacked against you. Maybe you haven't personally stacked it, but the deck is stacked against you. If you want to stop smoking, but all your friends smoke, not only do they smoke on a regular basis. Um, they don't take their own lives seriously. Y'all don't do any of the activities if smoking is not involved. Then you are stacking the odds against you. Like literally, like it's very much stacked against you. So naturally, the best way to go about that is like, okay, right, you have the internal drive of wanting to do something, doing it, taking action. But a large part of taking action, in my belief, is knowing what to move away from. So in this process, it's not just like, oh, people see you elevate and then they are like hateful or whatever. And I think a lot of times online people are like, oh, it's a they're not on your level anymore. They're not as awakened as you. I don't like to speak in those terms because I feel like it gives people a sense of superiority. Like I'm better. Like you are trying to elevate yourself doesn't mean you're better than them. It just means that whatever they're doing, it doesn't suit what you want. Elevation is not you going above other people. I don't really believe that. It's you becoming better. But for me, better is me versus me. It's never about the others. And of course, like I was saying, one part is you, and the second part is your environment, who you're close to, the people you trust. Are they going to feed into your bad habits? Are they going to be the ones that hinder your hinder your progress? Are they good for you? And I'm not saying every relationship should be looked at as, are you good for me? Are you benefiting me in any way? But it does make sense, right? I think it's fair to say that if a relationship is not helping you, not benefiting you, not providing some sort of comfort that is healthy and secure, that allows you to elevate, doesn't mean, bro, I don't fucking like you, I'm not fucking with you ever again. But perhaps some distance is needed, right? In my personal case, I took some distance away from my friends. I was like, okay, you guys specifically, you smoke too much, y'all doing this stuff. Some of you guys are not in university or not even trying to like achieve something, do something with your lives. If I'm around that 24/7, if I'm around that constantly, if I'm around that, like it's gonna influence me. So I fuck with you. You've been here for a long ass time. So I'm not just gonna throw you away. But I definitely want to take some distance. On the other hand, people see the distance you take and they think that you think you're better than them. Actually, I'm gonna say this. You can never 100% know. I don't know for 100% a fact that they think that. I personally believe, I don't think my friends personally think that. I feel like, I hope I gave the impression of like, I don't think I'm better than you. I do play up the arrogance and the playful insults, but I hope I haven't ever made them feel like I feel like they're lesser than, because I really don't think so. But people can feel that way, and it's understandable. Change is something that's hard, and when you see somebody elevating, when you see somebody progressing and you're not progressing, resentment can build up in you. It is definitely something, especially when you're doing things that are meant to suppress certain things. It triggers you, in a sense. But also the honest truth is that you should pick you. And when you start to pick you, you can also see where they're wrong, where they have been the negative influences in many, many ways. Your friends may be the reasons why you're not going up, but they could also be the reason why you're still down. That's kind of obvious, right? I don't know exactly how to put this into words, but I'll go with this. For me, the moment I realized for 100% fact that I needed to distance myself was during the 2 periods I was homeless. Last year, I think somewhere between February to March, and then somewhere between May to July. I was homeless twice. You need to pick people that will really be there for you. And unfortunately, you can't know who will really be there for you until you get put through the ringer, until you get slapped around a bit. In my state of homelessness, I have never felt so disconnected from my friends. And I don't think it came from a negative place because I was asking for help and I didn't get it. And I don't think that came from a place of like, we don't want to help you. But it came from a place of, guys, my friends, all they do is smoke, drink, numb whatever it is that they're trying to numb, their pains, their sorrows, their whatever. And they're not really working on themselves. So how can I expect those people to be there for me if that's what they're going through? And so I don't hold resentment for that, and I don't think you should hold resentment against your friends for not being 100% supportive or not being like there. They should have like let me do this or like none of that. It's just a matter of, yo, the people around you, they give a pretty decent summary of you. Perhaps not in the way that you possess similar traits, but in the way that you balance each other out, right? I don't know if I want to go deeper into that. Just a brief instance. My new group, there's some different personalities, right? And I am more quiet, reserved, whatever. But I have a friend who's more talkative, expressive, and we're just very different personalities. But there's something that we both have in common. So even though it looks like we're very different, there's something in the middle that is the link between how we are similar. Even if you think you are different from the people around you, I guarantee you there's some sort of link. That it has to be, especially if you're hanging around them quite a bit. There's some sort of link. To summarize the video, it's a very old quote. It's a very used quote. It's, like I said, practically common knowledge, but it really matters who you're around. If you're trying to make that journey, if you're trying to improve your life situation, if you're trying to quit some habits, there are people, there are individuals, there are friends, family members, perhaps lovers, whatever it is, where being so close to them is you putting a heavy rock on your back and trying to swim. Maybe if you're superhuman, godly, and by a miracle something happens, you can achieve it. I'm not going to say it's impossible. I know of people who have done it. But if you're going to do anything, you got to stack the deck in your favor. Stack that fucking deck in your favor so your odds of succeeding are that much better. And it will suck. It will fucking suck. But it will still suck if you were still in the same friend group and you just ended up, you know? You just ended up being this thing, not trying to fulfill your potential, trying to achieve whatever it is you're trying to achieve, trying to better your life situation. And who knows, maybe you can find something even better. Once again, not saying you say fuck them niggas, but sometimes a bit of distance, God, sometimes a bit of distance is perhaps what you need. So choose wisely who you keep around you. Choose wisely who you keep around yourself. God, speaking is hard.